Unit 731, The Dark Story of Experiments. What started as an endeavor for scientific progress in the name of experimental research soon descended into one of the darkest chapters in human history. Unit 731, originally established as the Epidemic Prevention and Water Purification Department by the Japanese Imperial Army during World War II, was anything but about disease prevention. It was a gateway to unimaginable horrors. Based in Harbin, China, Unit 731 appeared to be just another military facility, surrounded by fences, watchtowers, and rows of nondescript buildings. But beneath the surface, locked away in cold, sterile rooms and deep underground chambers, men, women, and children were subjected to unspeakable horrors. They referred to their victims as logs. These were not people. They were no longer human beings, no longer someone's son or daughter. They were mere objects for experimentation. When they were brought inside, they no longer had names. Only numbers. Some were subjected to surgeries without anesthesia. Their organs were removed while they were still alive. The screams of agony echoed in the sterile rooms as white-clad surgeons meticulously took notes. Others were trapped in pressure chambers and subjected to extreme altitudes until their lungs exploded. Some were injected with animal blood to see how long they would survive. Limbs were frozen, broken, then allowed to thaw and refreeze, simply to measure the effects of frostbite. And then there were the children. Babies born to women infected with syphilis and gonorrhea. These babies were used to test the spread of diseases. Pregnant women were vivisected while their babies were still inside them, their bodies used to test the effects of biological warfare. Diseases like cholera, anthrax, and plague were deliberately injected into living subjects. As symptoms appeared, the subjects were tied down, only for death to be observed. Their organs were removed while still alive. Some had their stomachs sewn into their chests. The air inside those laboratories stank of rotting flesh and formaldehyde. Blood poured into metal drains. Bones were snapped. The sounds of agony never ceased, until they did. Because eventually, everyone died. Even after the physical lab was destroyed, the psychological torment of Unit 731 continued to haunt the minds of survivors and the descendants of those who never came back. Some of the survivors managed to escape, crawling through the snow with frozen limbs, recounting what they saw, but their stories were rejected. What they witnessed was too terrifying to believe. The reality was too grotesque to accept. Many historians estimate that over 300,000 people were murdered as part of Unit 731's horrific experiments, more than the combined death tolls of both Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Yet, there were no national days of mourning, no memorials erected. Only an empty, cold landscape remained, and the memories of those who didn't return. In recent years, drone footage from the abandoned complex in Harbin shows collapsing roofs, rusted doors, and shattered windows. But the most disturbing sight is what lies beneath, the remnants of furnaces, burned bones, and primitive surgical tools. The blades of scalpels dulled from overuse. Bone saws stained with the blood of the victims. Today, farmers in the area report that the soil turns black after heavy rainfall. They plant crops, but nothing grows. When visitors venture into the ruins, they often report feeling sudden nausea, severe headaches, and panic attacks. Some believe the land remembers. That land, soaked with agony, may have become cursed. Unit 731 is not just a warning from the past. It is a mirror, a testament to how quickly science can turn into monstrosity if ethics are discarded. Every advancement has its boundaries. Every experiment should be held to a moral standard. Because without it, we become monsters. And in Harbin, monsters were not just created. They were celebrated. After the war, some of the scientists who worked at Unit 731 wrote memoirs under pseudonyms, attempting to rationalize what they had done. It was for the war effort, they wrote. We were just following orders. But no war, no order, no ideology can justify what happened behind those walls. According to one chilling rumor, even the children of the Unit 731 researchers, those born long after the war ended, still have vivid nightmares of icy corridors and metallic screams. Some grew up haunted by the memories of a past they never lived, as though their fathers' sins were etched into their very blood. Today, the survivors still speak with trembling voices. They remember the echoing footsteps in the hallways, the cold needles piercing their flesh, and the smell of burning flesh. And the silence that followed. That silence is the only thing left behind by Unit 731. And it must never be allowed to silence again. If you want to dive deeper into the horrors of history, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. Stay tuned for more disturbing revelations. Follow our journey into the darkest corners of the world.